In August 2010, my high school English 12 students were expecting the same class they've always had. You know, classroom filled with textbooks and pencils, paper. They expected me to lecture for long periods of time, maybe take some book tests. However, I had done some reading over the summer. I had enrolled in Full Sail University's master's program in educational media design and technology. Little did these students know that this would change their life.
In the Journal of Adolescent and Adult Literacy, Larson made a study in 2009 that suggested that the tools students were using in traditional classrooms like pencils, paper, and textbooks are becoming less relative in a workforce filled with computers and internet. So I asked myself, am I preparing students for the real world? In the Journal of Information Systems Education, Rienzo in 2009 did a study of Web 2.0 applications. These were seen as being more student-driven and fostered 21st century skills. It was time to try it with my students. This would take place in an urban high school with an 85% Hispanic population and a low-income community. The setup was simple. I'd split up my class into two groups. One would use traditional methods of teaching, and the other group would use computers.
So obviously, this was going to be a difficult task. It was time to call upon my friends. So now I got the students going into the computer lab every Monday. But the question is, what do we do with them now?
The lab certainly had a few challenges for us.
Well, it's actually been great, except for if you have like a retarded computer like mine, which shuts down the whole time, then it's stupid.
Sucks.
Oh yeah?
Sucks bad because I get distracted way too easily looking at other stuff I'm not supposed to be looking at.
This is not to mention all the lost passwords, locked accounts, district filters, and broken links, and other distractions we had to deal with. I ended up using Google Apps for Education. This helped clear up many of the problems. It took 5 months to finally get students comfortable with using computers. I was able to build a functional course website. Students were able to use the internet for most of their assignments. There were even some students who found the online resources beneficial.
Well, it's basically been good every time, but I'm able to keep up with my assignments. So if one day I'm absent, I can go onto Google Docs, go through my homework, and have no problems at all.
However, it was not enough. It was time to take it to the next level. To do that, I called upon the experts at the EMDT program at Full Sail University in Florida. Here is a sample of what I learned.
Look at your draft. There are comments from Janelle, and looks like you have about 3 comments here.
take my English classes online now.
Get out! Who's your English teacher?
Mr. Wood, he uses Schoology.
School what?
Schoology. Here's the setup. We have the computer group and the traditional group. They both read parts of Frankenstein. One took the test online, but the other group took the test in class. A critical friend said this would not work. There were just too many variables. I had to make the tests the same. The variable became the tools students used to learn the material. One would use lectures and the textbook. The other would use Web 2.0 tools. Then they would both take the same test in class. This would be Cycle 1. The traditional group scored slightly better in the first round. As you can see, the setup remained the same as Cycle 1, except for one variation. One group was able to use the computers during the test, and I would be watching them. This helped reduce many of the test irregularities. The traditional group maintained a steady 80%, while the computer group moved up a little bit at 75%. During that time, I made a few observations. There were basically 4 types of computer users. The first type didn't use the computer at all. They only used the novel. They typically scored the lowest on the exam. These students just used the ebook. And these students tried to Google entire questions, searching for answers. The highest scoring were the digital natives who used a variety of internet sources. Here are a few conclusions from the project. Number 1, the more tech skills students had, the more they achieved academically. Web 2.0 lends itself better to project-based learning. Avoid standardized tests. But if you must, then set the passing score to 80%. This helps reduce the odd behavior observed in the lab, as only the digital natives could achieve such a score.
As you can see, the problems in the computer lab are numerous indeed. It makes you wonder why we don't just go back to good old-fashioned reading, doesn't it?
The good news is, 21st century skills are being taught. As of 2011, 3 million companies are using Google Apps. These benefits cannot be measured on any standardized test.
As you can see, education looks quite different on this side of the screen. Taking online courses enables me to use my own personal learning environment, and sometimes that's what makes all the difference. And it's Web 2.0 technology that makes it all possible. So, until next time, thank you for watching.